Okay, I wanted to show my setup, my new compressor. It's one of the Yong Hengs. From all the information I gathered off of Airgun Nation and people's advice, I'm going to show what I got in the way of supplies for it, fluids, etc. Also, I'm going to show my carbon fiber tank. On the left hand side is Joe Brancato Great White. It's 97 cubic feet, and there was an issue with the existing Foster fitting that comes from China with this unit not connecting to the Foster on the tank, so I got a solution for that. So I will go over what I have here. Okay, the unit I bought was a 110 volt unit with the auto shut off. One of the things that I added was here, this is a vibratory hour meter, so when the unit turns on and creates vibration, it will record the hours, records in tenths of an hour increments. And I think it was about $20 some there. One thing I'll say is it was said a few times that some of the fittings and such on these compressors can be loose, so I went over every fastener, every coupling, every nut that I could get at and tighten them. There were a few that were not tight. The fittings for the bleed valves and the hoses, they had the little plastic, and I don't know if they used Delrin, but there's plastic fitting that you want to make sure is in the fitting there before you put it together, so you have a good air seal. Okay, for this compressor, they recommend number 46 hydraulic fluid. Some people out there are using this Royal Purple, which is higher performance lubricant. Believe it will last longer and do a better job of protecting the motor. I bought a gallon. I wasn't sure how many ounces it took to fill up this unit. The fill port is on the other side, but it basically takes 12 ounces to fill this up. So I should be able to get about 10 changes of oil with a gallon. The other thing it was recommended was this wetting agent for engines to help make the cooling more efficient. This breaks down the surface tension in the water, makes it, quote, wetter. It also has additives in it that protect against corrosion for your engine, or I should say for your motor. But so I bought that. I'm going to add the rest of it there into the 5-gallon bucket there that I have for the cooling. And the other thing I bought was this algae remover used for aquariums. You usually use a small amount to keep for any algae buildup. I did use distilled water in the tank to avoid any minerals and such. And let's see, in the tank here, the 5-gallon bucket, is a aquarium type pump. The one that I got with it didn't seem to be circulating water at a very high flow rate, You have basically 5/16 inch tubing on this that's provided with it. So I measured the flow in gallons per hour with the original pump, and it was only about 30 gallons per hour. So I went on Amazon looking for a pump that was a little bit more powerful and got one rated at 120 gallons per hour, and thought, well, gosh, this is going to do it. And it ended up putting out about the same gallons per hour, which was 30. So then I went and bought one rated for 320 gallons per hour, and I installed it this evening, and it does better. It puts out about 40 gallons per hour, so it has a little better flow. But my strategy with this is I will, after using it, take the pump hose out and fill up 3 or 4 of these gallon jugs and put them in the refrigerator to keep the cooling liquid cool, and also freeze a couple ice blocks to add to it too, to keep it cool. Now I did run it the first time and did a top off of this Great White from 3,500 psi to 4,000, and it took approximately 12 minutes. And there's temperature gauge there, which reads in Celsius, and I understand you don't want to get much over 55 to 60 Celsius. And the unit went up fairly quick to 55 Celsius, but then it stood there, and I wasn't using cooled water, but I did put the ice in it. So I think my strategy of cooling the water plus ice will keep it maybe a little temperature a little bit lower. Like I said, to fill this tank from 3,500 psi, 97 cubic foot tank, to 4,000 only took 12 minutes, so that wasn't bad. Alright, on to the filtration. The unit comes with this first stage filter, and I bought the second stage filter, the tuxing, and when I did my first fill up, I used it as is with the 2 cotton tampons in it. Since then, I've cut a tampon to 2 2-inch lengths and filled it up with desiccant beads. Okay, here's the desiccant beads I used. Now there was some discussion the type of beads to use. These are the activated aluminum, and supposedly they won't react with the metal inside the air filtration tube, so we'll see how it does. I did not put any type of liner in this tube. I tried putting the plastic binder separator sheets, which was recently mentioned by Humdinger, I believe it's his call name, and I couldn't get it to work in there and fit. So I figured it's not supposed to react, and he said it was sort of overkill anyway. So so I got the beads in there, plus I have some indicator beads that change color. So we'll see how that goes as I fill over time. Now the issue I had with this Joe Brancato tank is these Chinese fittings will not fit on, they will not close and snap shut. So what I have here It's two separate fittings. They're both from Air Venturi, and this is a male. Let's see. On this side is a male quick disconnect, and this side is a female. And I screwed them together. Inside here's a Delrin fitting. You get them tight. And these work good. I used this male fitting with all my probes in the gun, so I knew they worked with the male Foster there. But anyway, so this just snaps in, and it works, fits with the Joe Brancato fitting, so that works there just fine. So that solved that problem. Okay, here on Pyramid Air's site are the two fittings I use. The male with the Delrin fitting, and then the female quick disconnect. Screw the threads into there, and you have the unit that works, that solves the problem, at least in my case, with the Great White and Foster coupling on it. And here, just show you real quick, is how I'm holding this tuxing dryer filter on. Built a little frame to hold it, just a couple 1x3s. Took a couple L brackets and snipped off some hose from the Yong Heng supply hoses to put on top. And it just fits there. And this goes on and holds nicely. So that's pretty much it. That's how I set up and went about getting my compressor ready. I will say that it is a pretty noisy unit. Not outrageous, but if you're going to be in the room while it's filling a tank, I'd wear ear protection. Also just wear my safety goggles just in case something came loose or whatever, a hose or something. But I want to be in the room and sort of monitoring it on and off. So even though it has automatic shut off, just letting safety be the name of the game. So we'll see how this performs in the long run, and hopefully I've imparted some information that others can use if they intend to get this compressor. All right, have a good one.